day. I want to be with you along the way. Nothing else will do.
So welcome back to EveryDay. Sarah and I are going to give you 10 tips on things that you want to do to make your journaling exciting, to make it something that you want to do every day. And number 2, we talked about yesterday that when you sit down and you write in your journal, you want to write about the day's events. You want to write about things that are fresh in your mind. It's, if a group of people saw an accident on a street corner, the first thing that the police want to do is they want to take witness statements because they want to get your impressions of what just happened. What did you just see? Because as you talk about it amongst another group of people, your memories of it get affected by other people's memories, what they saw, what they heard, and it starts to change the story. So you want to take the time to write things down on a daily basis. But what happens if you skipped a day? What happens if you miss maybe a couple weeks or a month or a year? What do you do then? Well, one, when you sit down to write in your journal, make sure that the first thing you do is you write about what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Then you can take some time, if you have some extra time, and maybe spend an evening. Make it something special. I used to sit, if I had an evening where I didn't have anything planned or I had a few moments where I wasn't doing anything in particular that was important, I'd sit down and reflect back on an event that happened or something that I didn't write about, but I see now that it was really important. Sometimes over the weeks, months, years, we start to see, that was a little bit more significant.
And sometimes it's hard to journal about, say, if you're going through a hard time, like a really hard time, journaling about it during that time is difficult. I've had times where I've gone back and journaled about, man, this season of my life was really difficult, and this is kind of why.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't necessarily journaling during it, but I knew I wanted to record it so that I had a memory of what we had been through or what I had been through.
Yeah, because they're confusing. Times like that are very confusing. We don't necessarily know the answers, and it's okay to write it in your journal. If you don't understand, it's okay, because there's nobody here to criticize the way that you think or feel or anything else. That's why you don't want to put it on social media. This is a good filter between you and God.
Yeah.
You can sit down and write all these things down. You don't necessarily need a filter, but sometimes you just don't take the time at the moment. So, make sure that whenever you go back to journaling, if you skip a week or a day or something like that, write about what's going on right now, but take a little extra time and go back and maybe talk about something, write about something that maybe happened that you didn't write about at the time.
Yeah.
And, you don't have to write long, but just mark those things down, because obviously if you're still thinking about it days, weeks, months afterwards, it's kind of important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe you need to go back and you need to remind yourself, because things don't just happen and that's it. We wrap them up and put them on the shelf and we go on. They impact us over time.
Yeah.
And we don't realize sometimes the impact that they are having on us over time. So it's really important to go back. If you miss some time, that's great. Make sure that you're keeping current, but also take a half hour, take 15 minutes, and just briefly
jot some things
your journal
down,
up on some things that have happened that you didn't necessarily take the time at the time to do.
Yeah, that's good.